What do you think is the biggest defense industrial challenge Europe is facing today?
Well, Europe has realized that there's a common security threat. Realistically, the way I described it in my opening of the conference was that there is a risk mitigation strategy that is underway, that is realizing that we need to step up and have a common policy, a common view of what security threats are. Industry's never been aligned to that. Each country, each member state had its own policy, its own view, and now there really needs to be an assertion that there's a common challenge here. We've seen that in terms of availability of equipment and the ability to come up quickly with resolutions in different parts of the defense sector. And there is now an opportunity to do that. SAFE is about that. That's exactly what the funds are attempting to try to achieve.
So what opportunities do you see emerging through closer Canada-CE cooperation under SAFE?
Well, first of all, there's a big opportunity for the European defense industry under SAFE to actually figure out how they're going to make up the difference in terms of where they are now and where they need to be in a few years' time. There's a realization that the global security scene, the geopolitical realities are changing. And as that filters down into policymakers' realities, SAFE is the sort of answer for that. What Canada provides is things like supply chain, logistics, opportunities to work with globally capable companies and to pull supply chains away from Europe to have ways in which they can make up for things that are not actually working yet in Europe at that level. So there are companies in Canada that are very, very keenly accustomed to good capabilities in terms of supply chain. That isn't really the reality yet in Europe. So as Europe steps up to plate, they're great Canadian partners for that.
What would success look like for Europe and Canada by 2030?
Well, there's some big challenges that have been put out. So Canada, for example, to reach the 5%, or the European Union member states, NATO member states to reach 5% spending is a big challenge, actually, if you think about it. But a common policy, a common view. So being able to actually bring together things like common procurement policies across the European member states. You know, some of the participants of the conference have very eloquently pointed out that each member state has different approaches to things like procurement, or, for example, testing. Fascinating to see how that's actually working. Getting SAFE to get companies across member states to work together is one thing, but actually getting to work towards common objectives is quite another. So I think if in a few years' time we're able to get to the point where common policy, common standards are driving how these companies can work together, and we're sort of dismantling barriers that are nation-state specific, allowing the countries to cooperate, really cooperate together, would be a great objective to achieve. Maybe it's a little bit too bold, actually, but maybe it's a great objective to believe.